Right, here we are, Nick.
Here we are
In Lofoten Islands.
in the Lofoten Islands. That's correct.
6 months after our original conversation during the webinar Cold Not Cold Expeditions, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's. It seems like a long time ago, but it's.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's flown by, really.
That's unbelievable, yes. But it's also incredibly nice to be here on the inaugural trip, actually. So tell me, first of all, what do you do at the checks?
So first things first, I'm a product manager for Iceland, Svalbard, British Isles, Europe, and Norway. So it's not a very catchy title, but it covers quite a big area.
Yeah.
And specifically Norway, of course, for obvious reasons, has been a major focus for the last 6 months and before.
Makes sense. So how, like, looking back, how long did it take to develop the itinerary we're currently on?
Oh, that's a very good question. So I think the earliest ideas for this itinerary kind of go way back, because a lot of the people that have been involved in this product, they've been with the company for a long time.
Okay.
So I think there was always this kind of wish to do something like this. That was an expedition in Norway rather than just the classic port-to-port style operations. That has sort of, I think, 2 years ago really become very concrete. And then in the last year, it's just really sped up. So it's gone in phases, from like dreaming to agreeing and then to really arranging. So let's say 2.5 years.
Brilliant. And how does it, so obviously this is an inaugural trip, and I think the excitement of the team as well as passengers is actually quite palpable, because first trips always are quite interesting, because while you plan for every eventuality, things may not always go to plan.
That's right.
I am personally not feeling it at all, but it's interesting to hear from your side. Are you happy how the trip is progressing?
Yes, absolutely. Like I think, I mean, as you say, like you never know what you're gonna get on the first voyage, and that's like, on the one hand it's exciting, and on the other hand that's you know, a little bit that can be stressful. But I think the teams on board have handled everything fantastically, and we've been lucky with the weather. That has helped, of course. And in general, yeah, I'm super pleased with what I've seen so far. And as you know, I'm driving around following the actual ship, so I get to see you from day to day. And how it progresses. So no, you know, kudos to everyone who's now here actually working on it, because it's just gone, very well.
So when you started looking into Norway as an expedition cruise destination, what was the desire to deliver?
Yeah.
Or how did you want to present Norway? What were the components of expedition you really wanted to get clients to experience and to see differently than they would see on, you know, another cruise ship or land-based activity, whichever way?
Yeah. So I think that can be summed up in one word specifically, and that is friluftsliv.
Okay.
Maybe you've heard it here and there being dropped, and I've spoken about it in webinars.
Absolutely.
And friluftsliv is like, it's a Norwegian phrase, but it kind of refers to sort of a philosophy of the fact that living outside is the right way of life. You know, being outside, hiking, enjoying the nature, grilling under the open sky, and to really combine natural living with your everyday life. And that's something that is very normal for people that live in Norway or are born in Norway. Personally, I was born in the Netherlands, and I had the joy of then moving to Norway. So I've had this almost decade-long acquaintance with the term friluftsliv, and I love it, and I think it's very special. And we were like, well, wouldn't it be great if we can take that idea of friluftsliv and just share it with everyone? So this journey, this voyage, more than anything, really tries to give people a sense of what friluftsliv is like. Hence, we're doing all of the bonfires on the beach and so on. So yeah, friluftsliv. That's.
So what are the components of friluftsliv in the Norwegian way?
Okay, so you know, sometimes the best way to tell something is like giving an example. So if you're going out hiking here on a mountain, just on a regular Sunday. Like, you think you're doing well, and then all of a sudden you're being taken over by like 2 grandmothers in their like late 70s that are just like passing you by. They say, get out of the way, and you're just like, what's going on? And that's just to indicate that everyone of all ages is always somehow occupied with nature. From young to old, everyone's always doing it. That can be, like I said, eating outside, or hiking, or you know, spending time with loved ones in the forest. But it's also a philosophy of taking care. So like, even here, there's this famous chocolate in Norway,
Uh-huh.
which is called Kvikk.
Okay.
It's a bit like Kit Kat, but it's definitely not like Kit Kat.
Okay.
The point is that it's inside the wrapper
Okay.
is rules for how you behave in nature. Like, don't leave anything behind, clean up after yourself, respect the silence and
Okay.
tranquility of others. And that is a chocolate that every Norwegian hiker will have with them in the mountains. And I think that says something about sort of this integral relationship with the outdoors.
Amazing. And from a point of view of scouting the places and selecting, because I'm sure there was a selection process as well.
Absolutely.
What surprised you most, and perhaps the areas you considered that you thought would work, but then you found surprises elsewhere, and any of these kind of stories behind the scenes of scouting the actual destination and deciding which ones will go as core itinerary.
Yeah, so that is, we have a lot of knowledge inside the company. We have a lot of Norwegian locals that know a lot of these places very well. So we had the fortunate position that even from the beginning, we had an idea of where we were. We weren't like going in the blind. Like, we've been exploring there for as long as we've been around. So we had kind of an idea, but I think the mode of operation was the major change here. So the big question we constantly had was like, okay, so what places can facilitate this expedition style operation, and how different are they from what we've usually done? And then, like, perhaps my favorite story actually, and this is this is all the credit have to go to Lasse, who's my boss, and he's worked on Norway for a very long time. He went on a private vacation once to northern Norway, and he spent some time on a place that you now know well, which is called Tranøya.
Yes.
And he just visited it, and it was in the back of his mind, like, okay, how is this all gonna go, Norway trip? And he was there, and he was like, wait a second, I just gotta ask these people, can we maybe go here?
Yeah.
And of course, from one thing came the other, and then after 1.5 years of back and forth and looking how it works, we've had a very successful landing there, and it's been an amazing day.
Yeah.
After which Wenke, who owns the place, said, I can't believe no one has done this before. Yeah. And when someone says that,
you know you are on a good track.
You know, on
Absolutely.
a good track.
Yes.
So that was a great example of like how, even in the sort of, even when you're not looking, you're finding. And
Absolutely.
I think that's what we've been trying to do.
And what would you think the guests would be most surprised about if they knew how much effort goes into these trips?
Oh my God. Well, the teams on board sometimes make it look easy. Yeah. And I think, like, if you'd know how much time preparing, deliberation, moving pieces behind the scenes are all like going on to make this work. The tranquility that we want to try to perceive with this trip is in great contrast with the amount of work that goes into putting it. So I think if you just be able to see the general buzz behind the scenes, and you sort of contrast that with, if you look outside, it's tranquil, it's calm, it's nice. I think that would be quite surprising if you'd be able to see that. But still, even that, over time, it will smoothen. This is the first time we're doing it, and in a couple of weeks this will run.
I mean, as I was telling you earlier, I'm not noticing at all that this is the first trip. It's very smooth from a traveler's point of view. So, exactly. But I'm sure you know.
And that takes.
It's the tip of the iceberg.
It's the tip of the iceberg.
And it looks great.
And it looks fantastic, and it is fantastic. But that is a skill. That's
absolutely.
not luck. So that's something that comes.
So, one other question as well, because I'm sure people hopefully watching this later is going to think about, is the we often, this time of year, usually the ships are not necessarily in the Northern Hemisphere. Yeah. Because it's winter, so it's obviously there's the daylight. There's also the considerations to be made about cold and things like that. So when you were looking into Norway as a potential expedition cruise destination, what preparations or considerations you made that is making this as a success?
Yeah. So there's like two answers to this. Like first is because a lot of people in the beginning were doubtful about whether or not it was a good idea to go here at all. Like why would you go to such a dark and cold place?
Yeah.
And I think we had this fundamental trust in the fact that it is a magical place to visit,
Yeah.
and there is a unique way of life, a unique environment, and a unique natural splendor here right now that you can get in very, very few other places, if at all.
Yeah.
So that was just for us, like we trusted that, and I think that is just something you can't entirely explain. Like we really trusted that that would sort itself out. In terms of practicalities, we've taken a lot of extra measures to counterbalance a little bit these extra challenges.
Sure.
We have the full body suits that we're handing out, for example, or we're taking campfires to the beaches to have some warmth and some heat. So, you know, there's like two different levels there, one very high up and one very practical.
Yeah.
And both have come with their own set of challenges, which ultimately make for a unique experience.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, with the rise of, I think there is now a new term, noctourism.
Noctourism, yeah,
and,
exactly.
Of course, the, you know, Northern Lights, we have had an amazing night last night where, you know, you could spend hours on the outer decks, you know, watching these amazing things. So yeah, and this is something I really, you know, appreciated as well. The winter suits and headlamps, and I think it adds to the magic of the trip as opposed to, you know. And it's just great to be warm.
Absolutely, yeah. I think people love that, and maybe the one thing to really add to that is that it's a kind of mindfulness. Like it's also a kind of peace and a kind of calm that I think it's this sense of like this is a real experience. Like this is not something set up. It's like this is very, very real. It feels very.
And also very unique, you know, when you think you know, it's a very unique thing to do as well. So perhaps the last question, what would be your tip to travel advisors who would like to understand how to sell this place to travelers, how to position this expedition from all you know, because you are very well attuned as well to travel trade.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think like don't be afraid of it. Like it's can feel counterintuitive, again, what we've just touched on, darkness, the cold and so on, but that is precisely the experience, and you'd be surprised how wide of a range of people are able to find their unique way of experiencing that. So like you have we have people on board that came on board and they say, you know what, we're not going to go off the ship. And they said that from day one because they still want to experience the dark and the tranquility in the landscape, but they have no interest in really doing, and they're having a fantastic time. We have people that are going on every kayak tour, on every, well, maybe you know one, on every snowshoe tour and on everything, and they're out all the time, and you can do that as well. So like, you can really comfort potential clients that this is truly for everyone. And you'll find something there that you weren't expecting to find. And I think that idea of like adventure is quite unique, because the more and more the world is changing, there's few places where you can go on an expedition and really not know what you're going to encounter. And I love that about Norway. It's like a contrast. That on the one hand it's populated, it's very well traveled, but precisely there's a lot of things to discover.
I suppose, you know, you only visit 5-10% of the country. Whereas on this trip you get the chance to just slow travel through places that probably you wouldn't be able to if you came here by plane and, you know, did a land-based tour, and plus just seeing this new place. Thank you so much, Nick. This has been brilliant, and I can't wait for the last 2 days and enjoy them, and incredibly privileged to be here.
So it's fantastic to have you, and thank you so much for this little chat. I will see you in Stokmarknes. I'm going to go back to my car and I'll drive up there and hopefully be there in time for the ship.
Brilliant. Thank you, Nick. Thanks.
Very welcome.